core modernization is important for a couple of reasons. The obvious is that it helps you to maintain your competitive advantage in the marketplace, and that competitive advantage is what allows you to serve your customers and make sure that their needs are met. If you don't do it, some other organization, and kind of in the fintech world, is going to come in and is going to provide that service or product to your customers, and it's going to impact your business and your ability to serve your customers and be that one-stop shop that a financial institution wants to be for all of your customers' financial needs. Now, what's interesting about core modernization is that it will require a complete reset of how it is that everyone within a financial institution thinks about banking. It requires a reconsideration of so many things from top to bottom. Core modernization all too often is thought of as a pure technical play. And the technology is obviously critical to a core modernization. You can't do it without technology. But the bigger point is that it is a cultural shift. It requires a complete cultural mind shift from the top to the bottom of the organization, and from technology, from business, from product, from finance, from everybody within the organization is required to reconsider the way that they think about the products and services that a financial institution can offer their customers and how they go to market with those products and services. So it is a very, very important opportunity for financial institutions to embrace the evolution of technology within the world of finance and what that means to your customers.
Why should banks care about it? It's critical to everything that they do, specifically around customer centricity and the way that they're going to service their customers in ways that their customers want to be served. So my point here is there are a number of disparate channels that customers are contacting banks today. I mean, they're going through mobile, they're going through web, they're in line at the branches, they're on hard main telephone lines. Banks that are going to win today are the ones that are able to deliver a consistent experience regardless of what channel the customer chooses. And that may be multiple channels for the same thing. So we're seeing instances where call centers are packed, the 25-minute call times. So that those customers are typically they're on that call center line. They're dialing up their private banker. They're trying to get into a chat room. They're basically taking the race to whoever answers first. And the banks that are going to win are the ones that will be able to deliver that same customer experience time and time again, regardless of the channel that the customer chooses.
Who should be thinking about core modernization? What banks qualify? That's an interesting question. And I think the answer is everybody qualifies. All banks are qualified. Core modernization is something that should be considered regardless of the size of the organization, regardless of the geography, regardless of the products and services that you think you may or may not be limited to. Everybody should be considering core modernization because it is the single most critical way to make sure that your customers' needs are met. Oftentimes, when we think about innovation, if you will, that innovation, quickly becomes something that is for the other guys, right? That's for large financial institutions, or that's only for credit unions. And core modernization really breaks down all those barriers and says that it is for everybody. It is something that all financial institutions should be exploring and considering, because the threat of innovation coming from the fintechs of the world is what you really want to guard against. And in order to make sure that your customers have the right experience and have the products and services they need, core modernization is the path to get there.
Which banks should be thinking about this challenge? Really, all of them. The top banks today have armies of people already dedicated to this. The ones that are really going to have to step up to the challenge here are the regionals. We're seeing it in the community bank level and credit unions. So it's really all banks that service customers. What's happening today is there are fintechs that if you do not develop a way to modernize your technologies a fintech is going to do it. So it's either let somebody else in the door to service your customers, or figure out how you're going to take that on. And this helps you take advantage of solutions that are out in the marketplace that you don't have to build and won't be as expensive. And they're not a competitive differentiator. So, I mean, there's really no reason for you to do that. So taking a look at what you should build yourself, what you should buy, and where you partner are critical. And those assessments aren't easy assessments to do. There are gaps and trade-offs as you make those decisions, and you want to go with somebody that has the experience that can help you think beyond the initial scope of your solution to future-proof the decisions that you're making today. So you're flexible. You have a flexible architecture to take advantage of solutions that aren't in the market in the future.
Core modernization is something that should be considered as a complete, holistic, cultural change. And when you put it in those terms, it becomes very big, very overwhelming, and all-encompassing. And the reality is, core modernization is something that, when done in small, bite-sized chunks, is very manageable for any financial institution of any size. And it has to be broken down in that way, very slow, very methodical for the original core modernization, if you will. The important thing is to identify and isolate a minimum viable product. What products do you want to go to market with on the new core? Establishing what those products are, and then sticking with it. And if you stick with it, you can get to market quickly, and then you can iterate quickly, and you can add new products, and you can grow on that new foundation. But trying to get too much out too fast will become overwhelming, and it will become, it can be deflating for an organization. So I think the critical thing is to make sure that you break it down into very small pieces that are manageable, and stick with that plan. And if you can do that, then you will find that it's not nearly as overwhelming or imposing as is often thought.
Well, how banks should be thinking about this is really in the views of their customers and how they're going to serve, how they want to serve their customers. Today, many banks are looking at this in product silos. They really have to look at this across the whole banking company that for the ability to cross-sell products. The banks that a great example of this is open banking. So open banking, a bunch of APIs that will be out there that will allow not only banks, but fintechs and others to share data. And if you're not thinking about this, somebody else is going to determine what data they get and how they share that. So the banks that will win will be the ones that are out front, that control their financial customers' data and how that would be shared. So again, getting back to the open banking framework, unless you have a flexible core, a modernized core, it's going to be harder to take advantage of these things. But if you have that, then it's much easier to get into the typical API sets that lower the burden on your IT team to come up with an API strategy. And that's one part of it. And then the second is, how are you going to continue to maintain and build those APIs? So you're not only making it easy for your customers to get the data that they're choosing to share with someone else, but that it's accurate and up to date.
So another consideration for how you think about core modernization is picking the right partners. So I know that organizations of all sizes want to embark on a journey like this on their own. They want to go do it alone. They want to prove that they can do it, that they're smart and that they're capable. And these organizations they're all smart and all capable. But what is really going to be the foundation for success is to have the right partners. If you have the right partners, you pick the right solutions, and you have the right system integration team, you have all the right sort of project management tools, and you make those cultural shifts. If you get the right partners up front, the rest becomes much easier, because those partners will guide you into how to break this this endeavor down into small, manageable pieces. They will help you find the discipline to stay with those small, manageable pieces, and then they can help you find the path to quickly iterate and grow on those pieces and the foundation that you build. So picking the right partners, start small, and stay true to your course. If you can do those things, that will be the key to success.